Welcome back to the English Journey podcast. This is the space where we don't just learn English, but we learn how to think in English, how to express ourselves clearly, and how to sound confident when we speak. Let me start today with something very honest. Almost everyone I know has experienced this moment. You have a really good idea in your head, something intelligent, something meaningful, something you know is valuable. But the moment you try to say it out loud, it doesn't come out the way you imagined. Your words feel weak. Your sentences feel long and confusing. You stop in the middle, restart, use fillers, and when you finish speaking, you feel frustrated because you know you sounded less clear than you actually are. And the worst part is this: people might think you don't know what you're talking about, even though the problem is not your intelligence, it's your articulation. Today's episode is about that exact problem. In this episode, I want to show you how to articulate your thoughts more clearly than 99% of people. Not by using big vocabulary, not by speaking fast, and not by sounding perfect, but by learning how to organize your thinking, slow down your speech, and communicate ideas in a way that people actually understand and respect. This is not theory. This is practical, and this is something you can apply immediately. Now let's begin with something very important. Most people believe that clear speakers are naturally gifted. They think some people are just born good at speaking. But that is simply not true. Clear speakers are not born, they are trained. What you hear when someone speaks confidently and clearly is not talent. It is structure, it is preparation, and most importantly, it is clear thinking. The truth is, most people do not struggle with speaking. They struggle with thinking clearly before they speak.
You see, many people speak while their thoughts are still forming. Their mouth starts talking before their brain finishes organizing the idea. And this creates confusion, not only for the listener, but also for the speaker. That's why people repeat themselves. That's why they lose track of their point. That's why they say, "What I'm trying to say is," again and again. Clear speakers do something different. They pause. They give themselves a moment to think. They don't rush to fill the silence. And because of that, when they speak, their words sound intentional, calm, confident. And here's something very powerful that I want you to remember. Clarity is not about speaking more. Clarity is about speaking less, but better. Some of the most intelligent people you will ever listen to use very simple language, short sentences, clear examples. They don't try to impress you with difficult words. They try to help you understand. And that brings us to a very important principle. If you cannot explain something simply, you do not understand it deeply. This is not an insult. This is a skill, and it means that clarity always starts in your mind, not in your mouth. Before you speak, you must know what you want to say. Let me explain this in a very practical way. Before opening your mouth, ask yourself one question. What is the main idea I want the listener to remember? Not 5 ideas, not everything you know, just one main idea. If you can express that idea in one clear sentence in your head, then speaking becomes much easier. But if you don't know your main point, your speech will wander. You will go in circles, and your listener will get lost. Clear speakers always know their destination before they start the journey. Now, another reason why people struggle to articulate their thoughts is fear. Fear of silence, fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding stupid. So they rush, they talk fast, they fill every second with words. But silence is not your enemy. In fact, silence is one of the most powerful tools in communication. When you pause before speaking, you show confidence, you show control, you show that you are thinking, not panicking. Try this. The next time someone asks you a question, don't answer immediately. Pause for 2 seconds, breathe, then speak. You'll notice something incredible. Your answer will be clearer. Your voice will sound calmer and people will listen more closely. Fast speech is not impressive. Clear speech is. Another important habit of clear speakers is that they don't dump all their ideas at once. They organize them mentally. They guide the listener step by step. Think about this. The human brain loves structure. It loves patterns. When information is organized, it becomes easy to follow. When it's not, it becomes exhausting. That's why clear speakers often say things like, "There are 3 reasons," or "Let me explain this step by step." They are not doing this by accident. They are helping the listener. When you speak, imagine that you are holding your listener's hand. You don't pull them suddenly, you guide them gently. And one more thing, this is very important. Clear speakers finish one idea before moving to the next. They don't mix topics. They don't jump randomly. They complete one thought, then pause, then continue. This creates a rhythm, and rhythm makes speech enjoyable to listen to.
Now let's talk about language itself. Many people weaken their speech without realizing it. They use words like maybe, kind of, sort of, I think, I guess. And when you use too many of these words, your message loses strength. This doesn't mean you should sound aggressive or arrogant. It means you should sound intentional. Instead of saying, I kind of think education is important, say, I believe education is important. The message becomes stronger, clearer, more confident. And finally, let me say this. Confidence does not come before clarity. Clarity comes before confidence. When you know what you want to say, when your thoughts are organized, when your message is clear, confidence appears naturally. You stop worrying about mistakes, you stop fearing judgment, because you are focused on meaning, not perfection. So if you want to articulate your thoughts more clearly than 99% of people, slow down. Think first, speak with purpose, and remember, your goal is not to sound smart, your goal is to be understood. This is the English Journey Podcast. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Audio.